I knew in the digital age and with the accessibility of social media and kind of building an online community, I knew that I had a decent idea that I was going to be able to kind of build on like finding those fans who are interested. If I came out, so to speak, and kind of said, "Hey, I'm a horror fan too," then I'll get the other black girl who says, "Oh, I like it too," and then we'll kind of have a conversation, and then there'll be more, and it'll multiply, 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 and that's kind of just what happened, and it happened very organically. Uh, and the most rewarding thing that I found doing it is that now creatives like authors and filmmakers were coming out of the woodworks too and kind of asking if we can kind of have a conversation, but like also do an interview and a feature and like watching their movies and things like that. And I was starting to really see a black horror female aesthetic in film kind of blossom, and I really like how that kind of just happened just very organically. And I love that it's not just embraced by black women, but it's also embraced by, everyone, like every demographic I could think of. That was, again, when Jordan Peele talks about being afraid of being run out of town in Hollywood, I was afraid of being run out of the digital space because of this, because it felt so niche and it felt so radical in a sense. So, and I'm glad that the opposite happened, and I'm glad a lot of people are embracing it, because it's really not about me, it's about this community of women who have some really great stories to tell.
I love love, and that's what I write about, especially black love. That is my niche. African American romance is my niche, and that's what I'm going to write about until ever. What up, y'all? Welcome back. I'm author Christopher Markland. Like I just said, I love love, okay? So that means that I love romance. So my books are about romance, but my niche is African American romance. Like Ashley Blackwell just said, her niche is horror noir, meaning black horror. But as she also said, there is a social media community for damn near everything. No matter what you're into, there's some kind of page or some kind of something associated with that. If you live in Georgia, for instance, and you like bugs, guess what? There's a Facebook page for that. There's something for everybody. So in other words, there's a community for everyone, which means that in that community, you have fans that you could potentially reach if you write a book that talks to those fans. Me, I used to be a truck driver back in the day, right? 18 wheeling, doing my thing, right? Shout out to all my truck drivers on the road out there. But if that is something that I was still a driver, still working on that, that is a potential group of people, a group of fans, group of customers, group of that I could tap into, because because if anyone who's out there driving a truck, it's not just a job, it's a lifestyle if you're on the road. Okay, so that is a fan base that's potentially there for me to tap into. All right, so it's the same if you're into horror, then there's a Facebook page for that. If you're into specifically black horror, there's a Facebook page for that. If you're into black horror stories out of Atlanta, there's a writer for that. What's his name? I used to love that dude's book, but there is a author out there for you, and if you're a writer, there is a fan base out there for you. It's just up to you to tap into it. So as a writer, guess what? Of course, we all want to sell multiple millions of copies of our books. Hopefully we can, maybe we can, but just like that Facebook page that we just saw, if you have 138 definite fans, then you write to those fans, and then you build your audience from there. You tell your stories, you engage your audience, and because it's something that you're into, you are a subject matter expert on that, so you're speaking the language, the lingo, the ins and outs, the little things that separate you from a person who knows it as opposed to somebody who's seen it and then did a little research and now they're just talking about it. They're little things. Like I was in the Army, for instance. One of the things that when I'm reading a book and I hear a guy, the author said, yeah, and he shoved the clip into the magazine and in his M16 and held the trigger, and no, if you ever served, that ain't how it is. It's not a clip, it's a magazine, and if you squeeze a trigger, you're gonna shoot 3 rounds. But anyway, we ain't get into that. But the difference is, like I said, you're speaking to your reader. You're not just writing stuff that you think, because that authenticity is what's going to separate you from your peers and make you that much better. So as much research as you need to do into writing your book, Write your book about what you know, about what you're interested in, and what your fans that you're writing to, what they're interested in, because you're speaking the language and you have people who, quite honestly, want people to write books about what they're interested in. Write the book. Write about what you know. Write about what you love. And if you write about what you love, the love is going to show through the book. All right? So write your book. Tell your story. Write about something you care about, that you're passionate about, and let that passion shine through the pages. Now, let me know what you're interested in, or if you're not, let me know if you've read a book and you're like, this person here they're just writing about something they don't know about. I'd love to hear about it. But y'all, keep writing your books, okay? Tell your story. See y'all next time. Stay determined.